I was wearing this shirt, it has a fox on it. I went into a cafe. The lady there was like, do you have your sister or a doppelganger walking around? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, a lady wearing a fox shirt with an Australian accent came in and ordered exactly what you ordered just now. And I'm like, holy shit. My soulmate is out there and I had no idea. Do you guys think it's Rose? What if it's Rose? Oh my god. I don't think Rose had an American accent though. Do you think Rose picked up an American accent from like a year abroad or something? Oh, there's a chance. Oh, Rose. Rose, if you're still out there. Rose! I'm still waiting. Who is Rose? Alright. So the Rose story comes up every time we talk about the topic of rejection stories on stream. There's a bit of pre-storytelling to go through. So this one day after university, I was coming out of class and I was waiting at the bus stop. And it was a pretty lonely bus stop. It was just me and this other girl. It was raining really heavily and I had my umbrella. So I went up to the girl and I was like, you want to get under? And she's like, oh, thank you. And she seemed pretty cool. We were having a good time. And then we got on the bus. Like, I wasn't in love with her or anything. It's not like I was romantically swayed by this woman. I just thought she was really cool. When we got off the bus, I was like, oh, I'd love to see this girl again. We had shared like a 20-minute bus ride together. And at this point, she's like, I have to catch the train home. And I'm like, oh, can I get your number before you go? And then she turns to me and says, but I don't even know you. Oof. So this is the fabled rejection that everyone's terrified about. This is as bad as it gets. That's the worst that happens when you get rejected, then it's not really that bad. But it still put me down a little, you know? She's like, oh, but I barely know you. And I'm like, ooh. Fuck's that supposed to mean, dude? A few weeks later, it was the last bus home. And I remember I was there were a few other peoples there, but there was this one girl standing by the bus stop who I thought looked so cute. She was wearing a really pretty dress. I respect a good sense of fashion. I was like, man, I really want to talk to this girl. Like, I don't know why. Like, I just want to say hi. I want to see if her personality matches her cuteness. I was sitting there, I was wearing a nice dress shirt. I was feeling attractive. I was feeling confident. I was feeling ready for such an approach. Please keep in mind, this was a while ago. I'm not the same person I was back then. I'm very different about the whole thing. Don't turn too cringe factory on me, please. As I got on, the bus driver was really friendly to the girl who I wanted to say hi to. And I was like, okay, this guy seems talkative. And in my head, I have an idea. And so I said to the bus driver, she's pretty cute, isn't she? But in a tone of voice that was loud enough that she could hear me say it. At that point, I was like, this might be an okay first step if the girl thinks, like, overhears me saying she's cute. But then the bus driver, like, very loudly goes, hey! Better get her number. Oh, kill me now. Just do me a favor, bus driver. If you could just slam on the accelerator and just veer to the left into a wall, that would be great. Like, because I just don't want to be alive right now. But at this point, I don't think we botched it too hard just yet. I get on the bus and the whole thing's pretty empty. The girl's sitting down on a chair towards the front of the bus and I get down. I decide to take the seat right next to her, even though the whole bus was available. And I didn't really know what to say. I was looking at my shoes. It would have taken me all of 2 seconds to come up with a hey or how are you or I like your dress or something. I sat down and I didn't really plan ahead what I was going to say because I was so like thrown back by this poor wingmanning that this bus driver did. Just trying to quickly come up with like what to say. It was quiet for like literally half a second. Before I can say anything, the girl looks over at me and says, I love your shirt. And at this point I was like, well, this is going well. Like, oh, okay, I can work with this. And so I was like, oh, I really like your dress. And then we started talking and she introduced herself. And her name was Rose. Okay, now like listen to me guys. If there's a dream girl in your life, if you ever like meet the one, her name is Rose. You know what I mean? Rose is such a pretty name. I'm already like thinking ahead about how I'm gonna tell our kids about this glorious story, how her name was Rose. My bus stop was only like a few minutes away. Like it ended really soon. Things are going so well anyways. Like at this point I can just be like, oh, can I have your number? And she'll be like, yeah, sure, but I got off the bus, said goodbye, and never asked for her number. And I think about it today, and I was like, Celly, why didn't you ask her number? But the reason was, remember that first girl on the bus who didn't give me her number? I was still emotionally wounded by that I feared the rejection. And so I never asked for Rose's number. And to this day, I still think, man, what could have happened? What could have happened with Rose? Rose, if you're out there, I'm waiting. I'm here, I am very single. Horny and sad is how I like to describe myself. That's the Rose story, boys.